was symmetrical. They both retreated to their sides, drawing lists of demands and muddy lines in the sand, trying out their separate lives. Most of the damage was collateral, but still inspired some debate on all the principles of why all the people we love are the same ones we could also hate. You just roll with the punches until you can't feel a thing. You just roll with the punches. Oh yeah. The separation was logistical, deciding what belongs to whom, how dying love manifests in a rug or a chest, the decorations of a room. Every promise was negotiable, most of all the ones they made alone. What she finally forgave, what he'll take to his grave, learning how to not pick up the phone. You just roll with the punches until you can't feel a thing. You just roll with the punches. Oh yeah. Starts existing as a miracle, the band of static right behind your eyes that you filter everything through without knowing you do. The past and future synthesized. You just roll with the punches until you can't feel a thing. Roll with the punches. Oh yeah. You just roll with the punches till you can't feel a thing. You just roll with the punches. Oh yeah. To have a song about separation that wasn't just some simple personal story, but rather try to get into the archetypes or the consistencies that we can all recognize as what a separation is, whether that's just a breakup or a divorce or whatever, but the things that we all can kind of relate to, and how often that'll be the minutia or the smaller details that we otherwise wouldn't think about. How when, these larger gestures of saying goodbye are actually sometimes easier to stomach than knowing you have to give someone a rug or something. And then also trying to acknowledge the effect that person has on you and how that's permanent, rather than something that we feel like we're saying goodbye to once the relationship is over. This next song is actually the title track of our new record. Called We're All Gonna Die, but it's a little more positive than it sounds, I think. at the show tonight, the face beyond the barricade. How you dance and you sing to every single line, like it was you up on that stage. I need to know your secret. I'm asking you for help. How do I fall in love with anything like you seem to do so well? I gotta get back to when it came out the way it was supposed to sound, before money was ever changing hands and my feet were on the ground, when I could feel the wind's direction, when I knew what songs to sing. And he said, try not to get upset, let it all go by. Because how can it be that bad if we're all gonna die? That's when I started to think about that girl that disappeared. And if it really was the road that pulled me away, or if I'm still a victim of my fears. How she showed me the machinery that our words protect us from, how she could keep me in the moment, how that's all there ever was. I should call and ask to see her, even if it's just a couple days. I could meet her out in Georgia, or she could fly out to LA. And if the plane goes down on her way to me, I think I know how she would react. She would smile and close her eyes and think about her life, while some voice is screaming in the back, we're all gonna die. So try not to get upset, everything is fine. Hey, it's not that big a deal, we're all gonna die. 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 When the tequila runs out, kind of sounds nothing like this on the record, but it is how I wrote it. Everyone that greeted me was moving slow and drinking fast. I was lost inside a painting on the wall. A pretty baby with a cigarette was looking for a place to ash, stumbling toward the voices down the hall. They had Thriller on the stereo, not the album, just the song, for two dancers all in white that no one really knew. There were a lot of leather jackets, there was a haircut reading palms, there was a line outside the bathroom that didn't really move. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be feeling no pain. Some girls forgot their bathing suits, but felt like jumping in the pool right after making sure the underwater lights were on. I was staring at a silhouette, I was blushing like a fool, letting everyone pretend they hadn't planned it all along. Then our host bust out of his bedroom with his glasses slightly bent. He gets up on the diving board to tell us how he feels. Ladies and gentlemen, we've begun the initial descent, but now it's time to pull up on the wheel. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be feeling no pain. On the floor of the living room, I saw my past life passed out, laying next to her handsome new flame. I couldn't recognize his face too much, except for the grimace on his mouth. He looked a lot like me, he seemed to be in pain. I didn't hear the picture window break, I didn't see the rising sun, but I could feel the morning breeze. Then I heard her tired voice speak up and say, I think this party's done. She asked if I could drive her home, then she added, please, please, when the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be drinking champagne. When the tequila runs out, we'll be feeling no pain, no. Cool.